Guess who's back? I'm back again for the blog. I'm at a dog sitting house here in Dixon. There's Kiki over there. There's about 3 other dogs around and 4 cats. Let's hope we don't get interrupted today. Okay, so this is for Wednesday's movie, which was October 18th, and the movie was Halloween. So there's not I'm not gonna say there's not a whole lot of things happening in 1978, but there's only a couple of things to highlight that have to go anywhere near this movie is, so I've been saying that the sexual revolution has been happening, in the 70s, and it's been progressively showing up in movies in general, but especially in horror movies, like Suspiria and Shivers, obviously Carrie and some part of The Exorcist, if you know what part I'm talking about. So it's really showing up, and I think in 1978 it really shows up in this movie. About teens having sex. What? Okay, let's slow your roll, guys. Sorry, I have something in my eye. So the other thing I want to point out is that, sometimes what I do before I do a video or when I'm doing my research is I just put in, events in 1978 in the USA. Okay, I did this, and, there was about, 4 different times where a serial killer was captured, arrested, or indicted. What is, 4 in 1978? What is happening during this time? I would be terrified to live in that time. Oh yeah, another person died. So just the 4 that I know that have been arrested or captured in 1978, we have Ted Bundy that got arrested in, not arrested, I think he's captured. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. The wording, I don't know. In Pensacola, we have the Son of Sam killer, David Berkowitz, I think is how you say his name, and he actually was arrested in 1977, but he finally got his sentencing in 1978. We have John Wayne Gacy, who is finally arrested after killing 30 men. Just a light number. It's a cat. That's enough. No. Sorry. Someone's got to be the adult here. And then, where was I going with this? Oh, and then, what was the other? The Hillside Strangler in LA. He hasn't been captured or arrested yet, but he claims his 10th and final victim. My guess is the way they said that is that he was never arrested. He's still out there. Sorry, I have an eyebrow thing going today. So, I just think, with all the serial killers that are showing up during this time, right? And it's considered an event in, U.S. history. So I'm like, okay, is this where John Carpenter got his ideas? Who knows? But I just think it's very curious that there's a lot of serial killers being arrested or taking victims when Halloween comes out. Halloween, oh my gosh. So basically it starts off in the beginning. You see this, you don't really see him yet, but you kind of are in the point of view of the killer, and, he looks in the window, and it's this girl talking to her boyfriend. What are you doing? You want to go upstairs? And they hurry upstairs. The killer finds his way to the house, finds a butcher knife, goes, is stalking him, watches the boyfriend leave, and then goes upstairs and murders this young lady. She's butt naked, just stabs her. And then the killer walks down the stairs and goes out the door and meets, I believe it's parents. Obviously, I know it's his parents. And that's when the mask is taken off and you realize that it is a 6-year-old boy. And that happens in 1963. So then they fast forward 15 years. And Michael Myers, who's the little boy, escapes from his asylum by attacking the nurse. And attacking the nurse who's driving the doctor, who's played by Donald Pleasence. I was just there. Why can't I remember his name? I literally just watched it and I can't remember his name. But the doctor's like trying to keep him, you know, away from society because he's pure evil. But then Michael Myers attacks the nurse and drives off in the doctor's car and heads back to Haddonville, Indiana. Yes, Indiana, not Illinois. Or, anyways, so we, you know, now we're in Haddonville and we see the young and beautiful Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie, walking to school, and she's kind of noticing that there's just this, you know, during this time, it's just like idle chatter between her and her friends throughout different scenes, you know, at school, walking home from school, all that. But she's being stalked by Michael Myers because he sees her drop off a key at his old house when he was in the house, and I don't know if that was like, oh, fixation, I'm gonna murder you later, but it happens. Actually, it shouldn't just be it happens, but anyways. So then, it's Halloween night, and she's babysitting for the Doyles. She's babysitting Tommy Doyle, and across the street, her friend, it's not Annie, it's the other one, Linda. Linda. It's Linda. Linda is babysitting a young girl on that side. Well, of course, Linda's got some kind of weird, like a weird pact with the young girl. Like, hey, by the way, you sit here and watch movies. My boyfriend's gonna come over. And we're gonna bang upstairs. I'm sure she said it a little bit more nicer, but just for the gist of it, that's really what's happening. So, Linda basically, Linda. Why do I feel like it's on her name? Anyways, I'm just gonna call her Linda, because that's her name now. She gets a call from her boyfriend, Paul, and was like, and, you know, and Paul's like, hey, come over, you know? Hey, let's go. And, of course, like, she, you know, she can't just leave the kid by herself, so she drops off the kid at the Doyle's house with Laurie. And as she's going to leave to go get Paul, that's when Michael Myers pops up behind her car. Okay, that was psycho, but you know what I mean. Like, he just like, well, first he's actually strangling her, and then just, that was terrible sounding. I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. I apologize. And then of course, Linda and Annie, Laurie's other friend, have a pact where, you know, oh, once I put the kid to bed, I'll pretend you guys aren't around, and you and your boyfriend Bob can go upstairs and fool around. And so Annie and Bob show up, but like obviously Linda's nowhere to sight, so they're like, oh, free reign, and so they're doing whatever upstairs. And after their short time together, Bob goes downstairs to grab a couple beers, and that's when he meets Michael Myers, and Michael Myers just stabs him once. Well, actually strangles him and then stabs him once. Michael Myers puts a sheet over his head with Bob's huge 70s glasses. I've never been more jealous of glasses in my entire life. And he's like just sitting there like as a ghost, like, ah. And like Annie's just getting annoyed, like, why aren't you answering me? Where's my beer? And while she's calling Laurie to see when Linda is going to be back, that's when Michael Myers strangles her with the phone cord. And yeah, and of course, Laurie hears all this, but she thinks that they're just pranking her, which is terrible. So then finally, like, Lori's just kind of like fed up, like, guys, I need to know when to put this girl, I need to know when this girl needs to be back home, because parents are obviously gone. And I guess a Halloween party? We have no idea where these parents are. They're off getting drunk somewhere, and just leaving these kids running around. So then Lori actually goes over, and then she's confronted by Michael Myers. She has a long standoff with him, and, Donald Pleasance, the doctor, shows up, shoots him. Michael Myers has been stabbed in the neck with a knitting needle, has been stabbed in the stomach a couple of times by Lori, and then he's shot like 6 times by Donald Pleasance and still gets up and leaves. Donald Pleasance looks out the window, goes to see if Lori's okay, and then he goes back to the window, and Michael Myers is in there. And then that's it. Okay. I promised no singing, and I failed again. What do I like about this movie? A lot of things. I think for me, this is the grandfather. I know I said this about Psycho, but to me, this is like, if Psycho's the grandfather of slasher films, Halloween is the father of slasher films. Because, yes, because, like, he starts this whole phenomenon we're going to see in the 80s where it's like, hey, kids are having sex, let's murder them. Like, that's the entire 80s right there. Which I think I have one of those movies I'm going to talk about. So, that's the entire 80s. So, like, it's important to watch that just because I think it was iconic. The music's iconic. John Carpenter composed the music himself, which was just genius. It's just simple tones, but it's the tones he chooses that are just creepy. And then again, because in the beginning you just see it from Michael's point of view. It's still, there's this leading up to what we like in movies, which is the found footage films. It's leading up to this phenomena where it's like we're just obsessed with either seeing it through the killer's eyes or we're seeing it as if it was real. Like, to us, all of a sudden it becomes, it's not scary if it's not real, so we need to make it look real so it's scary. And I think John Carpenter starts that here in Halloween. So I think I said that quickly because I don't know how much memory I have on my phone, because I did go to a concert and take a lot of videos. But yeah, so that's Halloween. The next video is actually, originally I was going to do The Shining, but I had already done a Stephen King movie, which is Carrie. So I thought I would highlight something else, and I'm actually going to do, the Cannibal Holocaust. This was actually referred to me by my sister. It's actually it is like one of the very first found footage films. Most people don't even know about. I didn't even know about, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this because why not? Because I'm always open to suggestions. So if they're from here on out, 80s on out, if you have a movie that you would like me to watch and review, you can let me know. I'm open to suggestions. I kind of just chose movies that I owned or I can easily access. But if you have a movie you're like, dude, you have to watch this one, you have to, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. And I will see what I can do. Until next time, friends, enjoy.